Happy Friday, everyone. We've got a pivotal, as I like to call a pivotal get home weekend match to get us warmed up for eventual clash with Inter, which will be
Mm-hmm.
soon, sooner than later in a sense. But we're going to make this short and sweet, kind of give you some straight Juve talk on Empoli Juve. And no better person to do this with me than Mr. Dave over here.
How's it going, everyone? That's right. Straight Juve talk. We will not go down rabbit holes. We're sticking to it. This is the pregame. The shenanigans will happen tomorrow evening.
Yeah, that's what the call-in show is. So, all right, everybody. Juve against 19th place Empoli. Really, when you look at it from a paper standpoint, you would assume that Juve would cruise because Juve's firing on all cylinders, which is something we've been waiting for quite some time. And to really touch on such cylinder firings is Mr. Massimiliano Allegri with his presser. So let's get into this real quickly. So Allegri expects Empoli to be a good challenge for Juventus. So with Juve and their head coach Allegri insists that their side will face a very tough challenge against a struggling Empoli. Juventus are on top of the Serie A table after losing just once in all competitions this season and recording 5 straight wins following a 1-1 draw at Genoa mid-December. In contrast, Empoli are 19th, where they have had 4 wins and 4 draws in 21 games, although their most recent match saw them secure a hat-trick win with Zurkowski's first ever hat-trick against Monza, with Davide Nicola's first game in charge, who is their new coach. They did have a coaching change. So we are physically, mentally, and essentially, I'm sorry. This is an important match, as Allegri illustrates. They're saying that they're both physically and mentally prepped for this. Good challenge. Empoli deserves respect. They have quality players, and Coach Nicola's arrival has given them solidarity, and it isn't an easy match. And kind of to touch on that with you guys as well is relegation sides at this point of the season are what I like to call trap matches. I think that's a term that we've coined quite well. I know, Dave, you used it in the last watch along, right?
Well, I'm just using your terminology. It's really all you.
Fair. I do consider it a trap match. One of the reasons why I consider this one a trap match is 2 things. One, Empoli is 19th and they're in a relegation battle and they're not, out of it completely. And 2, they changed coaches. So that is 2 of the 3 strike process as far as a trap game. You have a new coach or you are close to the relegation battle and you have a monumental win. So technically Empoli has hit 3 of them. So 3-0 win, new coach, also within striking range of getting into the safe zone. So that's one of those things where you got to be very, very careful. We're at home, guys. I'm not sitting here and expecting an Empoli upset. Don't take me out of context here. So just one of those things to be prepared for.
They
So
also have a new acquisition that has been performing for them, but we'll get into that as well.
That is true. Juventus can extend their lead over into Milan at the top of the table to 4 points on Saturday, with Simone Inzaghi's team not in action until their trip to Fiorentina on Sunday. The 2 top sides meet at the San Siro on February 4th in a game that could go a long way in deciding the Scudetto, although Allegri's not ruling out a challenge from Milan, which is fair, right? I think if Milan...
They're still in it.
They're still in it. I mean, I think you would need a monumental collapse from both Juve and Inter for them to get into the picture, but crazier things have happened. Like Inter choking the Scudetto for the last 2 years in a row. Had to throw that in there. So obviously a big match, right? Juve have the opportunity if Juve beat Inter Milan that February 4th. Essentially, Juve would be in first place, regardless of whatever results happen, if everything were to proceed as it is. So moving on to that, the most important thing is to stay balanced, keep the bar high, and try to provide continuity. Scudetto winning points tally. It's difficult to say right now. We're up against a strong team in Inter who are favorites and have scored lots of points. Being close to them is great, given that we're on a different path, which is very, very true. Different avenues, right? An experienced, well-seasoned team with a young, raw, and hungry team. And it's kind of interesting, Dave, because Allegri tends to give you point projections where he says 86 will win you the Scudetto or 91. We have not heard this at all yet.
Yeah, he's not going to play with that fire.
Yeah, I think he's trying to put it down a little bit. Federico Chiesa remains sidelined through injury, and Allegri said he will still decide whether or not to play or rest Danilo, which I think this game against Empoli, you should be able to rotate. And I understand people are saying, oh, it's 1 game a week. Guys, they still train 4 out of 5 days a week.
Still playing the long game.
Yes. Because could you imagine he gets a thigh contusion against Empoli? puts him out against a critical match later. Yeah, better be safe than sorry, especially since he is in his 30s.
Our second string players should be able to handle Empoli. Even if it's a trap game, they should still be able to do it.
Exactly, and this is kind of how you get those minutes for those guys as well. So speaking of knees, new signing Thiago Giallo has been assessed by the club's medical staff after completing his move from Lille. The 23-year-old has not played since suffering an ACL injury last March. He says, "I feel good. My knee is fine," he says on Thursday. "Now it's a question of opportunity. I'm ready. I'll give everything to the team. I trained with the squad yesterday and this morning. My knee is recovering well. We'll decide with the coach on what to do. I'm very calm about it. I've come here to take an opportunity and make myself available to the coach. I know I have the attributes to help out. It's just a matter of getting the opportunities," which, it's fair, right? He needs to earn his keep in a sense because he did come in. Obviously, I don't think, personally, in my opinion, I don't expect him to jump in right away. I think there's going to be some simulation period as well. Also, again, some people react differently to ACL recoveries. So we'll see. That's going to be one of those things where you monitor as we go.
Is he going to Chiesa it?
That is true. That is true. I believe he is on year 2 of that recovery, but I digress. So there was a comment that Allegri also made in a pre-match in the presser that wasn't really covered by the FOTMob article, and this one was kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. So if you tennis stands out there will probably get this one. So the quote starts with, "Juventus are sinner because we are younger, and Inter is Djokovic because they're experienced. I don't want to make too much of these comparisons because it will make Inter angry and upset." So there's another one. You have the cops and robbers, and you have the Sinner and Djokovic. And for those of you that don't know, Sinner defeated Djokovic, and people were saying Djokovic should cruise because Djokovic is way more experienced, whereas Sinner was which is kind of an ironic last name to have, but really more so, he lost. Djokovic lost because experience doesn't mean everything. At the end of the day, it's how bad you want it.
Yep. Speaking of old men, experience, Alexandro has turned 33 today.
Wow.
Happy birthday.
Wow.
Mr. Sandro, you old man.
Yeah. I still can't believe it, man. It's been what, 15, 16 when he first came here. Dude's been here forever.
It's been a long time. He's grown old with
Forever.
us.
I know. So one other
but unfortunately, this Jallo acquisition, his replacement has just showed up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, hopefully you can retire and in peace and quiet. So kind of the one thing to illustrate on a little bit of a transfer thing with Moise Kean. So his move hasn't finalized, hasn't gone through. Some are saying that it's gone down. So Allegri does comment on that by saying, as of today, Moise Kean is a Juventus player. We'll see what happens in the coming days. And then right now, I think it looks like Wham might start as well. So we'll kind of get into the board itself here, provided by the old Fatma Baruni. So Juve with the 3-5-2, as per usual. You've got Tech. You've got speculating that Danilo may or may not play. We don't know for sure.
Yeah,
You
I
might
guess
see
they're going to
Rugani.
rest. Is that just like a rotational thing,
Yeah,
perhaps?
and I'm fine with Rugani getting minutes against Empoli, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And then you have Bremer and you have Gatti flanking him essentially, and then you'll have Kostic, which, okay. It's interesting about him, right? Because people are saying, hey, he's got the most chances created and yada, 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 which is fair, right? You can't argue the statistics, but at the same time, most of his chances that are created are through corner kicks. Like, I think, can we be honest with ourselves there that a good amount of his opportunities are through set pieces and corner kicks?
That's a very good point. You have to extract that data and then look at the numbers.
Yeah, because, like, for example, yes, he's done some from open play, but I think a good chunk of it has been from set piece plays. So, look, it is fine, right? You can say that he is dangerous at a set play. He gives you an opportunity. Your center backs give the opportunity to finish these shots. It is what it is, right? Though I do think in a match against Empoli, I would like to see Illing get, 45 minutes at least, in my opinion, just to see if he can really start assimilating into that position. Moretti projected to fill in for the calf injured Rabiot. Fine. I don't have any, I guess,
Kostic Moretti.
That is just that you're not expecting much out of that left side as far as creativity. And I'm not saying that Miretti sucks, right? I just think the inversion play between Kostic and Miretti just isn't there. But we move on to our middle. Locatelli, who is going to be locking it down, who has quietly been doing well, followed by the ultra pairing of McKennie and Cambiaso, hands down one of the most dynamic duos on that right side of the pitch.
Or maybe Weah.
Or Weah. Well, I mean, that would be interesting, right? So then you would throw Cambiaso to the left, Weah to the right, and that's where you would do it. But
Cambiaso and Moretti's spot when they made that switch last week didn't look bad. I know you're kind of using them out unnecessarily. You're kind of like double dutying him.
Yeah,
but it did look good, so I don't know if we'll see that either.
I could see that as a potential down the road this season, but because right now McKennie with Weah or Cambiaso, they're doing, regardless of who McKennie's paired with, they're thriving on that right side. Yield is on the left with Dusan on the right. I think again that's perfect because that's opening up Dusan to really benefit from the play that Cambiaso and McKennie are creating, and as well as also the space that Yildiz is able to distract and pull away. So I do expect Dusan to get another one here. I would be shocked if he doesn't score against Empoli. All right, and then followed by the revitalized Empoli from Davide Nicola, where they're running a 3-4-3. So they've got Luperto, Wilczewski, Ismaili, and then you have Brzezinski, and then you have Grassi, Marin. What is that? Kakanse?
Kasase, perhaps?
Kasase?
I'm not.
Cambiaghi. And then you have
Somebody's got to
Cambiaghi.
correct us. Vlad will be like, no,
Vlad.
this is phonetic.
Our linguistical expert, Vlad.
Yeah.
Zurkowski and Seri up top. So they also have an Albanian striker named Chuni that's been alternating with Seri, so watch out for that. He has been scoring as well. But head-to-head, Juve 11-2. Juve's won 11 games to Empoli's 2. Again, Juve's at home crowd and everything. It's very difficult to see anything else outside of that. Obviously, you can look at the gap. First place, even though we have a game in hand with Empoli there. Again, the reason why I say watch out is because from 15 to 19th, all those teams can adjust positions by the end of the weekend. So if you're playing Sassuolo, Udinese, Cagliari, Hellas, Verona, and Empoli, it's a trap game. All of those are classified as trap games.
You know what's beautiful right now is when you look at the last 5, it's all green for Juve right now.
Yeah.
And we're the only ones.
I know.
It's pretty.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while. Comparing our top scorers with theirs, 4 goals to our 11, 0 assists, matches played 2, Dusan's played. Holy hell, he's played
okay, 9. And this is the guy we got to talk about.
Okay.
He just showed up.
Oh, he's their new signing. That's right.
In 2 games, he's got 4 goals. Let me pull this stat here. Simon Zurkowski has scored 4 goals in his last 2 league matches, as many as in the previous 36 matches for Spezia, Fiorentina, and Empoli. He has scored all of Empoli's last 4 goals. The last player to have scored at least 5 goals in a row for the Tuscans in Serie A was Tommaso Rocchi, 6 between January and February 2004. So he is Empoli's next big thing.
He's cooking. He's honestly cooking. He might be that guy that helps them get over the hump, but you never know, right? I think he's a cam too, which makes it very, very interesting and intriguing as well as his positioning. So kind of some insights provided to us by Font Mob. So Juve are ranked 4th in goals scored per match. If you were to take January, they would be 1st. They've kept the most clean sheets in the competition with 12. Filip Kostic ranked 3rd in big chances created. I really want to see how much of those were actually from corner kicks, kind of like how I touched on earlier. Empoli's offense ranked 20th in the league with 0.7 goals scored per match, ranked 16th in shots on target per match, which is 3. Not good at all. Berisha, or as I like to call him, the Albanian Ochoa, is ranked 3rd in saves per matches, and I believe he is out with an injury. They do, and I believe he is out on injury, so you will not see Berisha tomorrow either. So it's kind of pretty much it in a nutshell. You got anything, Dave, that you want to touch on? Because I talked the whole time.
Yeah, you pretty much did. I got these quick fire stats. I just gave you one of them. Empoli have won only 1 of 14 away games played at Juve in Serie A. And they mentioned the last game I was at, 0-1 in August 2021 with a goal from Leonardo Mancuso. No, 2021. No, that wasn't the one I was at. That was the one I was at in 2023. Sorry. Because I looked at it, it's like, no, we won 3-0 last time. And that's what I'm saying. We'll get to the predictions. We won 3-0 away in that POS stadium. Number 2, the Azzurri have collected just 16 points in the Serie A and have never done worse after the first season. Have never done worse after the first 21 matches played in a single top flight season. 16 points also in 03-04 and 07-08. The Tuscans nevertheless avoiding defeat on both occasions. Okay, that's too much of a stat. Moving on. Empoli have not won any of the last 14 matches played against a team that occupied first position in the table at the start of Serie A championship round. So they don't win against whoever's in first. They're coming off a win against Monza, the first one in a while, with a clean sheet. They have not collected 2 victories in a row without conceding a goal, however, since these stats are stupid. I should have since January 2023. That's a dumb one. I came in straight from work. I would have deleted these if I had a few more minutes. I apologize. No team has conceded more goals than Empoli from outside the area in the current season. 6. Empoli is, with Monza, only one of 2 teams to have scorers hail from the fewest different nationalities. 4, so they're not very diverse. They're kind of bunch of losers that way. Empoli is, with Monza, one of only 2 teams to have. I just said that. Francesco Caputo. I'm doing bad at this. I'm trying to quick fire it, and I'm going so fast that I'm screwing it up. Caputo scored 5 goals in Serie A against Juve. It is his best team scoring against. So he is in the lineup, I believe, right? Okay, and Sebastian Luperto is only one of 2 outfield players to have played all 1,890 minutes of the season. This guy hasn't been taken off at all. Nuts.
Yeah.
And new coach Davide Nicola has never won against Juve in Serie A. 10 matches total, 2 of them draws. So other than their the Caputo stat and the new Szymon Zdrowkowski coming out of nowhere, it's 8 for Juve, 2 for Empoli on that stat line. So it's still a trap. That being said, they're going to win 4-0 tomorrow because if they can do 3-0 at like crappy old Juve away, then why can't they one up that home with the refreshed Juve?
Yeah, right. I mean, they did 3-0 against Lecce as well. 3-0 against Lecce. They routed Sassuolo as well. They're on form. There's not really. I don't have that many concerns. I'm just going to be outlandish and I'll just tie with you there and say 4-0. I mean, Juve are pressing high. They're winning the ball. They're forcing mistakes. Dusan's taking shots. I mean, what more can you ask for? And if Berisha's not playing, he's not going to pull some ridiculous saves out of nowhere. This is going to be, it should be. It should be. I'm not stamping it, but it should be quite simple. And that's all there is to it. I think maybe I'll just throw a little bit of a tidbit before we sign off here with the whole Jurgen Klopp thing and everybody foaming at the mouth. We'll talk about that in the call-in show where we'll get really in depth on it. But one thing I did want to illustrate to folks is Jurgen Klopp makes $15 million a season at Liverpool. Allegri makes about half of that.
They're looking to reduce.
If you were hoping to get a Jurgen Klopp over the summer, do keep that in mind, that he would have to take a substantial pay cut. And guy has no relationship or past history with Juve. So
that might be exactly what he needs.
It might be exactly what he needs. He might need some Turin in his diet.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah. Temper your expectations before you get utterly disappointed.
No, get all fired up. It's the call-in show. Don't
save it for Saturday night.
Okay, that being said as well, because, talk about tempers flaring the Discord. Sometimes we get good conversations going.
Very good conversations.
Join it because we want to hear your predictions in the prediction room. So scan that barcode I put up there. Also, in the description, there is a link if you prefer to go in that way. But get in the Discord, get your predictions. You can win one of the jerseys, hanging up in my on my wall right there. KB is in the lead currently. So it's never too late. Never too late. So get in there, give the scoreline predictions, and you can always put a kicker. So KB's got 3.5 because he got the kicker. He tied that week, but he also got a goal scorer correct. So make sure to get your goal scorers in there as well. Join the Discord, hit the like, hit the subscribe, do all the good stuff. Help us out, help us help you, and everything's good. Dash, I think we're good until tomorrow.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm flying solo for the match. You might be able to fly in for something.
Yeah, I could, depending, because match is at 12. I might be able to get home, unless you want to do a 5:30 call-in. Who knows? We'll see how it rolls.
We'll discuss that that's where we figure things out in the Discord. See?
Yeah.
Have your say right there.
Boom.
Awesome, guys.
All righty.
See you tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.